Hello everybody, Axis here with another top 10. Oh yes, it's been a while since I did one, and I actually thinking about doing this one for a really long time because this one is actually first, which is not Hearthstone related, and you have no idea how long I wanna wish doing this one. So obviously, for people who read the text of this video. Top 10 magic users in video games. And this is something which is really big deal for me because I really love RPGs and I almost every time play as mage. So magic is pretty big deal for me and I'm pretty sure not just for me because very idea of being able to control some sort of mystical power is fascinating, and there's many people who like to play as mages. So there's no way this is something which must happen eventually, and I finally reached the point where I can do this. And reason why I didn't do this sooner because it was actually difficult to find any magic users which can uh, meet my really high standards for sake of this video because if you see magic user then people can imagine many different things, but for this top 10 I really wanna set some really specific standards. I have really specific criteria for this top 10. So first and most importantly, this top 10 is obviously restricted only with games which I personally play. So if there is some really cool magician which you think I forget, well, that's maybe be because I don't think it's that good or I simply didn't play the game. Another important thing is I wanna focus on individuals who actually use magic like by itself, which mean individual peoples who basically just using magical items. They are not basically they won't be on this list because I want a people who basically doing magic by themselves, which also mean there will be no some other classes which kinda using magic except they are not. So there will be no priests, paladins, and similar classes because they really don't. They kind of can cast spells, but uh, they don't using a magic. They more likely like manipulate this divine power which was given to them with heavens or force of light or whatever you wanna call this. A similar situation is with the druids and shamans, which they more likely manipulate the forces of nature. Also, there will be no alchemists because alchemy and magics are two different things, at least to me. And this is something which I want to clarify from very beginning. Another thing, um, individuals who are playable on this list, there can be like bosses, NPCs, or playable characters. But playable characters are most valuable. They have a higher place on this list because it is cool if you have some powerful and cool magician. But if you cannot play as him, then it's well, he can be cool by itself, but for sake of this top 10, he won't be here. So this is something which I wanna clarify because it saved me some time later. Another thing that is three more things, three specific criteria for my magic users to be on this list. First is how powerful this mage is, because obviously power is one of the reasons why you play as mage, because you can manipulate this mystical power, and this is what make magician. Second is how many spells this magic usman. That doesn't mean like I kind of prefer quantity over quality, and there is many games where you have really powerful mages, but these days is really common. Most of them are just pretty much combat mages. They basically doing one thing and one thing only, that is basically throwing a bunch of combat spells like damage spells and such. I wanna have like magician which can do more than just take fireball in your face. And free, if these mages can have some additional abilities besides the magic, this is something which earn them a higher place on this list. So this is something which I want to specify from very beginning, because this is be really important, and it's basically responsible why a certain characters on this list are where they are. Ooh, so I'm really excited for this one, and I believe I explained everything important here. So I think we can start. So let's do this. Number 10. And here we are, back in the Gothic. Oh yes, Zardas the Necromancer. So for anyone who know Gothic series for some time, there is no way how you can miss somebody such as Zardas. He is one of those most powerful magicians which I know in this franchise, definitely. Like, for example, for example, this tower. You know how this thing is big, right? So let me show you. That is something which you really need to see for your eyes. If you saw my gameplay, then you probably know this. But for those who don't, okay. So here is the Zardas Tower, which which as you can tell, it's pretty huge. He was able to build this thing with the help of his magic, basically by summoning magical creature, in one day. He don't need more than just one day to build this thing, and that is really good demonstration of how powerful he as a mage can do. Because obviously I'm sure he is capable of doing exactly same things like any other mage in this game, but I don't see anyone who is able doing this. And top of that, his knowledge of magic and mystic arts are beyond what any normal mage in this game can do. And continuation and a Gothic 3, he actually was able to cast spell. I mean, normally if you cast spell, any spell have some really specific effect or specific area. He was able to cast spell which was so powerful, which actually changed the way how magic as itself works, which is insane. That is almost like godlike level of magic. So he is incredibly powerful, have tons of spells and some other things beside the spells. And he may not look like anything special if you see him in the game, but the truth is he is really powerful, really capable, and one of the most powerful mages maybe in video games. And if I tell you this, then you probably may ask, okay, if he is so capable and so powerful, then why he is so low on this list? Well, there is several actually reasons which caused him a position and why he is not high. First, as I said in my introduction, he is not playable character, and that is too bad. Second, I said on this list there will be no priests and other classes, and mages in the world of Gothic, they are kind of like priests. They using magic by itself and not divine power, but it's giving to them by them their his god in sake of Zarda specifically by failure. And that means like being here is kind of like cheating because I'm basically breaking my own rules. I mean, he's not priest. The mages in the world of Gothic are called magicians, and they obviously do magic, but it's given to them by their gods, and that is something which kind of breaking my own rules. And this is something which caused him position on this list. If he be like regular mage, and he been much higher on this list, but because the power him to giving to this his god, he probably shouldn't be on this list on the first place. But despite the fact, I just cannot ignore how powerful and its own way charismatic character as a mage he is. So rules are rules, but sometimes rules need to be broken, and this is the situation where I basically been forced to do it because I simply cannot ignore how cool, powerful, and capable as a magician Zardas is. But at the same time, I cannot place him higher on this list. So if he be able to doing magic and reach this level of power and knowledge by himself, that will be completely different story, and he will be definitely higher on this list. But as things are right now, he is where he is, and still I think it's really one of my favorite magician. It's be cool if I can play as him, but unfortunately I can't. And also powers to him been given to him his god. But still his character which if nothing else definitely deserves to be on this list. Number 9. Okay, that is strange, and I'm pretty sure some people can say right now, wait a minute, you said this is about video game characters. Doctor Strange is from comics, for comic book. And I could say yes, that is true, but keep in mind there was several video games where you can play as Marvel characters, and Doctor Strange being one of them. In this case specifically, I have on my mind the Marvel Ultimate Alliance, first one. I don't have a second one. I maybe buy the second one because it's on Steam right now, but yeah, this is also another reason why this guy is not higher on the list because he appeared in some video games, but same time, he's primary comic book character, and that's the reason why I cannot give him higher on the list. Which is too bad because he, as a mage, is his variability is like his power and what he is capable of is huge. I mean, I currently have open official Marvel page where is basically what everything he can do. So let me read this for you, okay? Doctor Strange is one of the most powerful sorcerers in existence. Like most sorcerers, he draws his power from three primary sources: invocation and powerful mystic entities or objects. The manipulation of universe ambient magical energy and its own psychic resources. Doctor Strange magical repertoires include, and here is the important part: energy projection and manipulation, matter transformation, animation on inanimate objects, teleportation, illusion casting, mesmerism. I even have no idea what this is. Thought projection, astral projection, dimensional travel, time travel, and mental possession, to name a few. Full range of his abilities is unknown. Doctor Strange's powers are sometimes less effective against strictly science-based opponents. Blah 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 blah. So, as you can see, this guy is big deal. He's really big deal, but unfortunately, like I said, I cannot place him higher on the list because A, he is primary comic book character, even if he appeared in some video games. And also, and this is the main reason, with all these cool things which is listed here, and I'm pretty sure he can do much more. You can do only very small portion of these things in game, or specifically in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I don't know how much things he can do with other games where he was, because I think he actually was in more other games. So this, which is obviously logical, because characters in video games, they must be like, um, there's only so much which you can do with video game, and also if you make one character too powerful, then he become overpowered. And so yeah, in the games his abilities are very restricted, but still he is definitely a very iconic mage, very iconic magic user, and he definitely deserves to be higher on the list. But because A, he is primary comic book character, and B, with from his huge arsenals of magical capabilities, there is only very little which you can do in the game, and this is the reason why he is not higher on the list. Even if definitely he deserves to be higher, but like I said, his primary comic book character and his abilities in the game are really restricted, which is too bad, because some things which I listed here are really super cool, and I really wanna play as him. Unfortunately, we cannot messing with things too much, because there is only so much which you can do in video games. Well, this is how things are. But what I can do? Nothing. So let's number 8. Okay, and we are in Baldur's Gate Enchanted Edition. So obviously, Baldur's Gate is one of the best RPGs which I ever played, definitely. And there's no way how I can ignore this game. And there's actually many different magic users here, and I actually pick one which is my favorite, and that is the one which I actually have a full let's play. So if you want to see what this guy is capable, feel free to watch it. It is still on my channel, far at least I know, unless something weird happened. But yes, so what is actually specific about this mage? He is not just normal mage. He actually started as a Kensai, as a warrior, and this is something which makes difference between normal mages and other mages, because Kensai is this type of warrior who basically is highly focused on offensive attacks, but he has really bad defense. So my mentality was basically I make character who start like Kensai, and then I make him mage, which really didn't make, like, it's he no longer can develop his warrior's abilities, but he's what developing are his magic abilities, and because of that, we have a mage which is full scale mage. The fact that he started as a warrior had no effect on his magical capability. In fact, he has much more, because there is one thing which is very specific for mages, almost all mages. When they have magical reserve, they are really powerful, long as they are capable of using spells. But where they use that power, where they drain, they become pretty much useless. And they are usually really bad with combat. This one, however, is exception, because he have really decent fighting capabilities. Like, he have a long sword, and it's maximum mastery, and two weapon styles as well. On top of that, he has some Kensai abilities. He has 2 points higher damage than normal mage. He have hit points like a warrior and not like a mage. He have some specific bonuses. So besides the fact he's really good, he's like, in terms of magic, he's standard stuff. Like, he's exactly as capable as any other mage in this game. But on top of that, he can use spells, and he's really good with them. And if you basically combine this, then I have basically mage who has increased number of hit points, improved defense, and he can actually wear magical robes because he is mage now. Which obviously magical robes are not good as actual armor, but for somebody who normally is don't supposed to be use any kind of armor, this is actually a big improvement. So he is really good with combat, and he can like if I this is the benefit. This specifically, I give him like this spell specifically. Like he is by himself decent warrior, but if you combine this with some protective spells and with some buffs, such as improve haste here, he become like living blender. He is like this crazy, insanely powerful, like capable attack incredible speed. If I give him this buff, then he basically has 7 attack per round, which is crazy. So yeah, he is definitely no joke, and his spells are strength. But reason why he is not higher on this list, even with he is really capable as a mage, his it is basically because how magic and Baldur's Gate work. Let me give you like examples. So all my spells are set for different levels for people which don't know how magic in Baldur's Gate use. Can you see these slots here? Basically, one slot represent one spell, which mean if I cast a spell, it's become dark like this, which means I cannot use this spell anymore. And thus, I cannot like recharge when I go to sleep, but obviously this is something which you cannot do during the fight. So this is bad because this is actually very system which is really restricted. There is tons of spells in Baldur's Gate, and if I want, I can easily like learn all of them. Reason why I didn't, because as you can see, there is I have no all spells in this game, not by the long shot, but I still have a few. Reason why I don't have more spells because there is no point. Which basically mean the way how this work is basically I need to predict. Oh, give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. So I need basically predict which spells I use before I use them. So this is something which is really serious restriction in terms of magic. And on top of that, I can use like each level, each category of spell have its own slot, which is even more restrictive. So if there is like a spell here, so I have some remaining magical energy here, then I cannot use it only where for any other spells than here, which is really serious restriction. On top of that, these mages in Baldur's Gate, they really don't feel that much powerful. Definitely not powerful as previously mentioned one. So this is some serious restriction, and this is the reason why I basically cannot play this place this guy on higher on the list. And I really want to place him more higher on the list, but like I saying, this is really serious restriction, and as I said, a big deal for me on this list is basically magical capability, which here, however, is very restricted. So that's like disappointment, but still, it is really like my one of my favorite mages. So as I said, if you wanna see how what this guy is capable of, there is a let's play on my channel, and you can watch it if you like. If you don't, then that's your decision, obviously. But yeah, definitely we have this guy. There is more magic users, but this one is um, really favorite of mine because I actually saw some other games which kind of trying like create like a fusion of warrior and spellcaster, but usually it don't work because if you do that, then the person usually is not that good with weapon or his magical abilities are not so great. But this time it's pretty much perfect fusion. So yeah, Baldur's Gate Mage. It is basically Kensai slash Mage. So moving on, number 7. Now we have a Necromancer, or more specifically, Lich from Might and Magic Dial Destroyer. So this video also I have some technical difficulties to record it properly. So once again, we have nothing but a static picture. But if you are interested, I actually have full let's play of this game, so you can see what this guy is capable of. Even if ending is a little awkward because my game basically crashed and I wasn't able to finish it. But if you are okay with that, then feel free and watch it. But obviously, why the Lich is here? I think it's really easy. I unfortunately, because I'm recording this way, cannot show you like which spells he have, but there is a huge variety of spells. Uh, like really many. Like he can learn like 5 different spell categories, like 4 basic elements and darkness, and each category have about 6 or 8 spells, which is a lot. And some of them are really powerful. Like there's obviously lots of combat spells, but there's some spells which are not for combat. Like for example, there is spell Armageddon, which can pretty much wipe out complete map, like hit everything on map. Which I think it's really impressive demonstration of how powerful necromancers, or in this case, liches spells are. And you can have spells which can literally can you enchant items permanently, and you can sell them for more money, which is super cool. And my personal favorite spell is probably flying, which let you fly, because let's be honest here, how many games lets you fly? How many magic users are able to do something like this in a game? To be perfectly honest, I don't know any other game besides Might and Magic series which let you do something like this, and it is freaking cool. You have many other spells. You have teleportation spells. You can be invisible. You can do so many things. You can manipulate with the minds of others. Like I can sit here and like I said, there is really huge supply of spells. And yeah, so leeches are definitely like a peak of magical capabilities in a series, because after Might and Magic series was been taken by Ubisoft, and I think it's no longer Might and Magic. This is Might and Magic only by name, and as a big fan of the original series, I'm really disappointed what Ubisoft doing with the franchise right now, but that's a story for another time. This is about Magic users. So, fortunately, in Might and Magic in Dire of Destroyer is, I believe, where series reach its like high point, its peak. I don't know if this is actually correct word for this situation, but whatever. But yeah, there's many other games which involve leashes, but as far as I know, this is only game which you can play as one, which is cool. And this picture obviously is some high level character which looks legitimately badass. So yeah, leeches, they definitely are no joke. So stay away from them because they will kick your ass. Number 6. Okay, so we have a Diablo 2. I actually own Diablo 2, but thanks to some technical difficulties, I actually try make this one uh, once before, but it didn't record properly, so I have no other option than doing this just a static picture. But yeah, sorceress in Diablo 2. She is definitely a really powerful spellcaster, and she feels really powerful. Um, and she have big benefit because other spellcasters they usually have a problem with when spellcaster use its magical energy, and as long as a spellcaster have magical energy, then he is or she is usually very powerful. But when its um, supply of magic is gone, then they are pretty much useless. Sorceress and Diablo 2 have a passive skills which increase her regeneration of mana, and on a high level, she almost don't have this problem. I mean, she eventually can run out the mana, but it's happen really rarely, and she can pretty much use the fighting its enemies, but with nothing but the spells. And I really love this idea because I think this is how our real magic users should fight. Um, I should, and also she feels really powerful. But I actually wanna place her higher on the list. But reason why I didn't is even she have technically 30 different spells, and most of them are um, only a stronger version of the same spells, and they basically do the same thing. On top of that, pretty much all her spells are basically damage spells, which for me is really disappointing. I mean, technically she could be even lower on this list, but she can do some things which other characters on this list cannot do, and that's is the reason why she is here. So yeah, I don't think I can ask too much. I really like her as a character, and her ability pretty much never go low on mana is great, and she definitely feels really strong. But like I said, she's pretty much combat mage, and that is a little disappointment for me. So this is the reason why I didn't put her higher on the list. I think she's fit where she is. Number 5. Okay, when we talk about magic, there is no way how we can possibly miss games such as Skyrim. This game is known for having like insane amount of mods. I'm actually curious which game have a more mods, Minecraft or Skyrim. That will be like interesting competition, but this is not about the mod, this is about magic. So one thing which I really think is cool about Skyrim is you can use your left and right hand, which is basically something which make you able to cast two spells at the same time. You can like quickly, for example, um, this one hand kills two enemies and then hurt them or electrifying them or something like this. So you can use one hand for attack your enemies and other at the same time healing yourself. Or you can obviously like uh, use both. You can get bonus for doing so. So this is something which is really cool and it's quite simple system. Not only you can even like if you want. There is basically in Skyrim there is basically no classes, traditional classes like mages and knights, but you can develop your character pretty much any way as you like. And if you want to go with magic, you can do with magic. If you want to go with sword, you can go with sword, and you can, thanks to this system, very effectively mix these two things. I obviously full mage here, no question here, because there's no way how I can play Skyrim differently. I actually didn't um, play Skyrim too much for reasons which, well, I also don't want to explain here, but Yeah, I this actually now it's actually the reason tell one thing. Even this system is really flexible, giving you infinite possibilities. Then there's two reasons why this character is not higher on list. I mean, I think it has a decent place, but some people probably think it should be better, higher. And there's two reasons why he is not. First, reason number one. He really didn't feel that much powerful compared to other mages. I mean, yes, you can you can fight dragons and you can killing the dragons and lay the game in one hit, which is nice. But at the same time, dragons in Skyrim they really didn't feel too strong. I mean, they look scary, they look intimidating when you start a game, but when you start get some decent equipment and learn some skills, they really are not that big a deal. So that's the first reason. A second reason why why this character is not higher on the list is um unlike other people. I actually mentioned there is tons of mods, but I actually wanna experience base the game in its basic form. So I have literally like two mods installed here. One for obviously better interface and other for automatically casting spell which I using primarily for healing my spells, so I don't need to waste of my time for casting healing spells which causing me pretty much being unable to take damage because I continuously like healing myself. So that's the thing. But the reason why I mentioned this is because I using only vanilla, only basic setup of skills, and in basic Skyrim without any mods. There really is not too many spells, especially compared to the other games which are on this, which were mentioned on this list. So that is a little disappointing. I still like visual effects looks really nice, and the system of events is really flexible, and I love it. But like I said, the supply of spells it is really small, and in terms of capability, there really is not too many things to do. I mean, if you have a mod, then yeah, you can do go crazy and have millions of spells. But that's is the problem. I don't want to use them. I wanna finish game first, legitimately, and after I do this, then I can use mods. And these two mods which I'm using, I don't think they actually are such a big deal because first just improving interface, and if you see like basic interface it is terrible, it is absolutely terrible. So the first mod which improving interface is basically must own, and the other one, well, I mean it don't really enable doing me like anything which I can do myself, except it's doing just slightly more efficient. So that's it. And as I said, if there will be more bigger arsenal of spells, then I've definitely play Skyrim still got higher on the list. But right now, it's what it is, and that's it. So unfortunately, there is nothing. Bam, nice. There's nothing else. I mean, yeah. So this is the reason. There really is not too many spells here, and as I said before, Arsenal spells is pretty big deal for me with the magic users, and this is the reason why I cannot Dragonborn place higher on the list. But right now we are where we are. Number four, and another game which I cannot possibly make when I miss when we talk about magic is of course the Warcraft universe, and in the Warcraft lore, regardless you looking like strategy game or MMORPG, there's many gifted like uh, spell users and magic users, and like pick one is really difficult. I personally choose Jaina Prime more because there is some one thing which I realized, Jaina Proudmoore in a Warcraft, he can do exactly same things like any other mage. Um, but between her and them, there is one big difference. They are all old men, and Jaina is really young woman. I mean, imagine and like in Warcraft 3, which is where I'm making this footage, obviously. Um, really mages cannot do archmages really can't do too much, but in lore and in term of overall capability, they are really powerful class and special Jaina. And reason why I picked her because she is much younger than any mage, and yet she can do almost same things like any other mages. Like if you like, this is obviously from campaign, and if you like playing multiplayer, then you know typical archmage is this guy with long white hair, which means they must be really old, and it must take them ages to master the art of magic. And yet Jaina is capable of doing exactly same things, and she's so young. Imagine when she reached the age where hair, when she get white hair, how much more powerful she will be. I mean, it's really don't seems to be like you really cannot play as Jaina with World of Warcraft, obviously, but you can play with her with an, and I don't know. Somehow she has my sympathy. I really can't explain why. I know there is many capable magic users in term of in Warcraft lore, which is really rich thanks to the MMORPG and all kinds of books, and I believe there is even a comic book. So yeah, Jaina is definitely really powerful and capable in terms of magic. I really cannot demonstrate nothing anything special, but I know she is really powerful. And like I said, there's many users, magic users, and I really can't tell too much about her because I'm one of those people who I actually did try playing MMORPGs back in the days, but I kind of find out they are really not exactly my thing, and that is the reason why I basically tried one free to play, and I was like, okay, if I like this, then I can eventually go and buy World of Warcraft, and I found they actually are not my thing, so I really cannot tell too much about her, like how powerful she is or how big is her arsenal of spells, but I have really strong belief what you can see during the campaign and Warcraft 3. This is barely like a small portion what she is capable, especially here when she start like a weak, basically magic user, which is barely just start to use magic. But when one day when she reach its full potential, she will be like super powerful, and like I said, she is definitely my favorite. Even if, and that's basically saying something because even as somebody who is not too much familiar with the Warcraft lore, I can still recognize her. There was some moment where I think maybe I can pick somebody else, but like I said, she is my personal favorite. I really can't explain why, but yeah, Jaina Proudmoore. Number three. So all places on this list are taken, and now it's time to start to talk about magic users which are really powerful. So this is obviously for people who didn't recognize this game, King's Bounty, and King's Bounty have several different games. This specifically is Armored Princess. I think mages in all games are pretty much same with the small changes, and over time they obviously improving. So it really doesn't matter which one I choose, and this is only one I have currently safe position. So let's talk. Let's talk about mages in a world of King's Bounty, which is right now Princess Anna. But yeah, so first and most importantly, really big demonstration of their power is the fact she actually command army, and her spells are so powerful they can effectively work in the like a scale of army, which means they are strong enough to kill dozens of enemies with each hit. On top of that, as you can see, um, in terms of magic, there is lots and many different spells, and I don't even learn all of them. It's not even everything. Some are really powerful. There are all kinds of spells which you can imagine. Summoning spells, protecting spells. Some really clever spells such as Avenging Angel, which basically any time an enemy hit you, he take damage back, which is not only very strong, but is really useful. Healing spells, slowing down spells, which can turn your rage into mana, which is really useful. Spell which can basically take damage back. Spell the people who attacking you. Spells. As I can like take, take way too much time if I can tell all spells which are here. And as I said, they are not even all of them here. Okay, so and her spells are very powerful. I can show you some demonstration. Another thing which make this even more sweet and delicious is the fact these spells have really nice visual effects, and they really looks they really look powerful. So there's many different spells, and they definitely are really strong, and some of them are pretty ridiculous, such as, for example, this spell, Dragon of Chaos. Like, the spells, only stack of spells casting itself cause damage, and the dragon itself is really powerful ally. You can have only one, but oh my god, his stats are pretty ridiculous. So yeah, mages in this game series, like in general, are really powerful, and their spells looks really beautifully. And unfortunately, I cast this spell, which is a little too expensive, so I need to move few rounds. So let me give you quick demonstration of. Okay, so like look how many special abilities this dragon have. Like that is ridiculous. And on top of that, like I can summon something this powerful. Can you imagine? Like you can you have a spell which can allow you to summon a freaking dragon, and not just any dragon, infernal dragon who came from really depth of hell. That is like if there is some proof how powerful mages in these games are, this is not bad. And this thing is like pretty ridiculous in terms of strength. And yeah, definitely you can cast some really cool spells here. So let me move forward and do some stuff here. I don't know exactly what I can create. Okay, I can do this here. On top of that, she can actually command the Legion of Lower Spellcasters, which is another like really impressive display of strength. So let me hit this guy. I don't even know how this. It was another spell that was actually chain lightning, I believe. So like I said, spells here are so very powerful, but also really nice looking. And damn it, all that sucks. Let's get this guy. And well, another little addition is you have these rage abilities, which are not exactly magic, but they are all a nice addition to your already powerful spells. So you can cast some pretty ridiculous effects. So take that. Let's cast some more spells, something which is really nice looking. Well, let's see. Okay. So let's cast something really effective. How about how about something classic? It's not necessarily the best spell which I have, but it's really nice. And the dragon is obviously immune to magic, so I can have beautiful like god damn these spells are they are really very powerful spells. So yeah, let me do this. Yeah. So like I said, she is definitely mages here are very powerful. They have a huge variety of spells, and these spells have absolutely amazing effects. I really love it. And like I said, keep in mind these spells exist on a scale of armies. So even every number here represents basically one unit. So this is not one lizard. This is like 164 lizards. So and these spells are powerful enough to take these armies down. Obviously with little help of this, but they are really big help. And like I said, best demonstration of the how powerful this spell is that you can literally summon a freaking infernal dragon. How cool is that? Seriously. These mages definitely they have not any additional powers, but they are powerful and they have huge variability of spells. So no surprise they are so high in this list. But the question is who is higher? Because what can possibly beat somebody who is capable of something like this? Well, you will see. Number two! So first, before I start the talk, I want to explain why this is such a strange resolution. It is because I have some technical difficulties with this game. I'm not sure why, but um, that is not important. Important is this is actually this is the night shift. If you don't know what night shift is, don't be surprised. This is one of those games which are not as much known compared to the other games. Probably because this game is well, I actually don't know if it's good or bad, but probably it's not that good. I mean, I kind of like it, at least the RPG element, but the strategic part is really not my thing. But that is not important. What is important, that is my number two on this list, and this is Wizard. You can play as many classes, and this one is called simply Wizard. Simple name, nothing specific. So let's talk about this guy because this guy you probably can ask how this awkwardly looking old dude can be so high on this list. Well, I'm glad you asked. So first, as I mentioned before, one thing which is really important thing with term of magic are its strength. So this guy is definitely so able to cause some really powerful spells. They are strong enough to destroy entire houses, and probably with exceptions of other real-time strategies, there is really not too many mages which are capable of unleash this kind of power. He's probably not strong as mages in King's Dante, but still really powerful. Another thing which is here is he has really decent arsenal of spells, and as I said, is little more than is your usual, like, here's a fireball in your face. I mean, you can do this, but there is so many spells here. Like, for example, I have this spell. This is obviously not English version of the game, so allow me translate. This is basically madness. This spell, you cast it on enemy, that enemy basically go insane and start attacking all enemies. It don't sound like much, but with this spell you can defeat pretty much anything. It's useless if there is only one enemy, but if there is group of enemies, it is amazing. Then obviously we have things such as obviously teleportation. I think that's good brilliant explanation. This is pretty much vampiric spell. You damage enemy and you take health. You heal yourself. And it's this spell which is this static spell which is attack everything which is enemy, which right now there is anything. So that is little important. I can summon my own stuff. I can turns people into cows. I can I can even control their mind completely. I can for limited time of complete control over their actions. I can paralyze individuals or groups. I can well, this is called firewall, which isn't actually what you expect because it really don't need any damage, but it's more like an obstacle. So I guess this is something which came from strategic part of the game. On top of that, um, if you wanna do things such as here's fireball in your face, you don't need because there is very specific magic stuffs for mages, and they are really powerful. Like at the start of the game, this they are not as strong, but as you I mean, there is two modes. There is story, which is more like a strategy, and there is RPG mode. This is obviously RPG mode. And as you start, and this mage is actually pretty pathetic. But if you are persistent, if you keep playing and get levels and learn spells, then you arsenal of spells go pretty high. This is by the way self healing. So your arsenal of spells go pretty high and they're really good. So this is, but still, I'm not sure if this is big as other classes, probably not, but still really decent. So he is strong, but not strong as other classes, and he is has big arsenal, but not as other classes. So there is still question: why in the world? Why in the world he is so high on this list? Well, there is actually one thing which I didn't mention because if you're using spell if you're using magics, then sometimes in some games you can also have some sort of protection against magic. Um, it's usually some protective spells or sometimes some protective ability, but they are usually not anything special. This guy, however, have one of the most coolest and powerful magic protection which I see ever. In fact, this protection is so powerful he can easily overcome pretty much anyone on this list, with a few exceptions, obviously. So this ability is here, and it is basically magic mirror, which basically means if there is a magic-based projectile which is launched at you, then you have a chance to staying completely intact and send it back to somebody who actually casts spells on you. And this actually work even for things such as magical arrow. So if there is some pesky archer which shooting magical arrow on you, so if these arrows are magical, you can use this spell as well. But what makes this protection so cool and awesome? It's usually these protection have really low numbers, usually something pointless like 20% chance of success. This ability, if you give it on maximum levels, yes, your eyes don't deceive you. 95% of chance success. 95%. Do you even know how high this number is? This ability make you pretty much immune against any magic attacks. Obviously, this don't work for spells such as like if there be multiplayer. If somebody trying transform me in a cow, then this ability probably don't save me. But same as some area effect. But like sending magical missiles back on a person who sent them on me, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculously powerful. So let me. I actually want to try this somebody, and I actually want to demonstrate how this power work. I don't know if I'd be lucky and actually able to find. It can be maybe some mages. No, they are not spellcasters. Obviously, this power is not too much useful. Oh, hey, I'm actually lucky. He is. He is. Oh my, give me a sec. Can you see that? So let me slow down game. Oh, what the hell? I actually have fun. So imagine he throwing fireballs at me and I sending them back. There's like no way he physically cannot hit me because his attacks are completely useless against me. 95% of success, and I don't even need to fight him to destroying him. Like I just kind of like running around and completely ignoring him. And if you see like normally mages this time it's a dark wizard. They are not that in normal circumstances. They are really powerful. They really are powerful. They can kill like even experienced heroes like really easily. But because this awesome power, I can easily overcome pretty much any magic user in the game. This is how powerful this abilities is. Because this is like I said, 90% of chance of success, and that is ridiculous. Okay, let's go safe here. Come on, go, go, go. And we are going. So this ability is the reason why he is number 2 on this list. Because this ability alone, even if he didn't know anything else than just doing spells, this is the reason why he is probably able to take down almost anyone on this list. Because honestly, it's not ability with just nullify damage. I nullify damage, stay intact, and send the spell back on my enemies. How cool is this? Like this make pretty much any spells which any other mage can cast on you useless and turn them against them, which is the reason why he is pretty much superior over any other characters. I mean, yeah, he is strong. Yeah, but there are stronger on the list. Yes, supply his spells is big, but there is bigger on this list. But this ability alone is the reason why he is number 2 on this list because it's freaking awesome. If you disagree, that's your opinion, and I really don't care because this is my top 10, and I think this is freaking awesome. So, question is, after ability this powerful, after we see such an amazing display, a mastery of magic and mystic arts, who who can possibly be better than this? Who can possibly be number 1 after we see so many gifted mages, so much ability control spells? Who can possibly be better? Who can possibly be number 1? Well, it is time to find out. Number 1! Okay, I think this cannot surprise absolutely nobody, but obviously number 1 is Wizards from Magic. Because these guys, the game is really like silly and it has
Hej,
really like
lyssna! Kan
sense
ni lova
of
Nira
humor.
Murphy?
But these guys are insanely powerful and they pretty much are embodiment of perfect magic user for me. So where I can even start. So first, you have this really flexible system where you have bunch different type of magic, and you can combine in total of five of them because you can like do some silly combinations here, and there is so many combinations you
Lyssna!
can create. You can
Trilla ut
create
spöet.
attack spells.
Ni var
You
nog vad
can
ni kan
create
fin.
healing spells. Like I don't need to heal myself because this wizard specifically is capable of regeneration. But with this system, like imagine, like if I do this, then I just add arcane. Now I add a fire. So I can do like heal, arcane, and fire. But I can do also arcane and lightning, or arcane and arcane just itself, or arcane and freeze. And because there is so many, like there is so many combination on top of that. There is like
Hej,
four
lyssna!
different ways
Om ni
I
dörren
can do
så kan
arcane
ni ge
and
hatten.
use it as a beam, or I can do arcane and use it as a spell which can cast around myself, or I can cast it on myself, or I can use it to imbue my weapon. So like amount of combinations is so big, and because there is four different way release this magical energy, there is even more combination, and I don't even know if there is everybody who discovered all possible combination because there is so many. I mean, ability to create your own spells by itself is genius, and the way how Magica do this is amazing because you can do this
Lyssna!
directly in the
Jag tror
battlefield.
bara det är pinnågången.
And amount of combination is insanely high. On top of that, if you combine some specific spells, then you can cast traditional spells basically by setting specific combination. And there is a pretty huge actually combinations. For example, here is perfect example is summon elemental. What is this? That is like this. I can do this, and this, and summon elemental. Now this elemental is inactive, but if I hit him, for example, with arcane, summon arcane, and he basically that absorb arcane magic and what the hell are you doing? Oh yeah. So he can actually absorb arcane magic and heal you. So if I do all of these guys, they can heal each other. Or I can do him with the fireball too, or whatever I wanted. So sky is the limit. There is so many combinations which you can do, and if that is enough, you can still use the spell traditional way as an normal space. And this mage is definitely don't lacking the powers because some of these spells are
Hej,
so
lyssna!
powerful. You
Kan
can
ni lova ni är muffin?
kill the boss with one hit. And I'm not even kidding. How many magic users who is so powerful if you can kill boss with one hit? I mean, you know how powerful bosses at end of the level stages are, and this game is actually able to do this. So some spells are so powerful you can easily kill yourself, and these additional spells are huge. You can rise zombies, you can warp time, you can summon thunderstorms, meteor showers, blizzards, tornadoes, rain, thunderbolts. You can hypnotize people, you can scare them, you can teleport, you can be invisible, you can accelerate yourself. There's so many things which you can do. And like
Lyssna!
if all these
Trilla
things
ut
are not
spöet.
enough,
Ni var nog
there
vad ni
is
kan fin.
one last thing which is special about this mages, these wizards. And that is, as I said before, all mages share one thing. All mages in all video games have some sort of supply of magical energy, usually mana. There's some exceptions such as Baldur's Gate which don't use mana, but most of the time they do. And if you drain all your energies, you are pretty much useless. This game, however, have no mana. There is no mana. Creators of this game have the balls to create game with the wizards which have literally unlimited power. They never are low on energy. They have unlimited power. How freaking cool is this? There is no such a thing. Usually, every time they just have some restrictions, but the fact the wizard is only class in the game, which means they don't need to be balanced. I think
Hey,
which means they
lyssna!
can be really
Det tror jag
overpowered,
där blir
and they
någonting.
are. And it is awesome if you ever have like if you are like me and you really want to enjoy mages which are flexible, powerful, without bothering such as something really pointless such as mana, then this game is for you. They literally have infinite magical potential. There is no mana here. How freaking cool is this? And if you said like, as I said before, number two, which was Night Shift, he can with his magical abilities, which can deflect magic, defeat pretty much anyone on this list. Well, these mages here are one of those exceptions which he cannot defeat because, as I said before, he can remove only things such as magic projectiles, but obviously he cannot deflect something like this. So if I do, for example, this,
Lyssna! Om ni dör
he
det
really
så
cannot
kan ni ge hackning.
like deflect anything like this. On top of that, like as you can just said, see like effects on the spells in these games are absolutely like beautiful. Like he is wearing and he is playing. It's like really realistically and I love it. Then I can do even things like this. I can do this barrier, which this barrier actually also can deflect spells because if I do like this here, I can easily hit myself because okay, let's break this barrier. Let's make another one. A very
Hej,
small
lyssna!
thing, but
Kan ni lova ni det Muffy?
I'll do it like this. Okay, so let's boost this barrier just a little bit so I can demonstrate how this barrier works. And he can actually deflect spells. Really awesome if you actually play a game with two players, which is something which I cannot demonstrate right now, but they actually can combine their beams to create one more powerful beams. How cool is that? So yeah, these mages on this game, they are insanely versatile. They have insanely huge arsenal space. Like you can even create your own sky is the limit, and I don't even try like
Lyssna! Om ni dör det
how many spells
så
are here.
kan ni ge hackning.
Let's see. Can I? Yeah, I can actually show full. Like this is like full, full list of all spells, which is here. Like that is like pretty huge spell line. As you can see, there's really many of many of them, and I even didn't um, find all of them. So there is so many spells. Yes, there's still many spells which I didn't discover. So these mages definitely are really powerful, a huge, enormous variety of spells, and on top of that, they have infinite mana. There is no mana. They have infinite magical powers. How cool is that? If you know any mages who can beat this one in terms of power, variety, and overall capability, then I really wanna see who can possibly beat this guy. And previously, as I said before, there is also let's play of Magic on my channel, which is I believe still here. So if you wanna see this guy in action, what he is capable, and feel free and watch it because Magic is really good game. I didn't have Magic 2 yet because I heard it's not good as first one, so I wait if eventually be on sale
Hej, lyssna!
and eventually
Ni börjar leda
buy.
sig sätt kompletta
So we
spelen.
will see, but first game will set really high standard, and I think these guys definitely deserve to be number one. They are powerful, they have a huge variety of spell and infinite magical potential. I mean, seriously, show me somebody who is better than this. So, that was a really exhausting fun, especially because there was involved lots of editing, lots of things, and I actually had some technical difficulties, but I hope eventually everything go the way which I expected. And I'm really proud on this one. As I said before, you have no idea how long I wanna wish make this one. So yeah, I finally fulfilled one of my long plans, which I planned really long time, and yeah, we are near
Lyssna!
done here. So
Jag tror
top
att det är
10 magic
pinågången.
users in video game, and whew, it was lots of work, but I'm really happy and with doing this, and I eventually want to do more top 10 which are about something else. I mean, I like doing top 10s about Hearthstone, but at the same time, you cannot do videos only about Hearthstone, obviously. So yeah. Anyway, we are done here, and for people who stick with me until the end, and you have my really special thanks. But I wanna thank everyone, and yeah, thanks for your time, and as always, I will see you later. Hopefully, with some another interesting top 10. Okay, that's me for a second. I wanna apologize because some of these this video is basically set of several different videos which is kind of connected together, and some are based on static pictures because I wasn't for different reason find any decent video directly from the game even if I own them, and some videos specifically Might and Magic have terribly low quality, so I'm gonna apologize for this, even if this is not my fault, because sometimes it's really difficult to find some decent picture, and I was failing. I'm spent way too much with this one, and I'm a little exhausted. So sorry about that. That really wasn't my intention, but it's happened.